I got new skates. These are the Flying Eagle F7s with 110 millimeter supersonic frames. So I've known about Flying Eagle, since I got back, so 3 years or so. And I've always been curious about the brand. They're really popular outside of the US, but for some reason, there's no presence in the US. I think you can find them at Inline Warehouse, maybe a few other shops, but really the way to get your Flying Eagles in the US is through Amazon, which seems extremely weird to me. But outside of the US, Flying Eagle is a pretty big brand. They make some really incredible skates. My friend Awe rides for Flying Eagle in China, and he is an amazing skater, and he's shown me some of his stuff. He's got some carbon ones and all that. It's amazing looking skates. But other than Awe, I've never seen a pair in the wild. So Flying Eagle sent me these skates. These are for review. Full disclosure, I didn't pay for these skates, but they look pretty great. So these are the F7s, and usually they come with a 4 by 80 millimeter frame. These are the supersonic frames that are designed for a 110 millimeter wheel. And they're a 165 mount, so they're not Trinity. They are 165, which is kind of like the standard, kind of like the UFS of everything else, of recreational, of slalom, of speed, and all that. So 165. That means that the mounting mounting the frames to the boot, there's a bolt at 165 millimeters from front to back. You can see it's a raised heel boot, so you've got a little bit of a heel raise back here. That just means that you're going to have a little bit more of a forward lean than with a UFS flat boot. But that's not a problem if you're doing free skates. You want to have that forward, active position all the time. The little red dot, they have an internal shock absorber. So the liner is really nice. The insole is super thin, more like a responsive sort of insole. And they have an internal shock absorber, which is going to give me a little bit more forward lean, but it's also going to make a really nice ride. Standard in most free skates, this has a 45-degree strap. This is the ratchet buckle, which is my favorite style. Very similar to my Imperials that I loved. The coolest thing and the differentiator between this is it is a dual injection boot. So this top area, this area where the laces tie up, is a softer material. It's a dual injection. It's softer material so that when you tie up your laces, it will suck in your foot. Whereas the harder material for the boot will keep you nice and solid. So I'm out here in Carrboro. My friend Dylan and I are going to go explore. We always come out here. The weather is amazing now. It's just this beautiful, almost springtime weather. It's t-shirt weather, obviously. And we're going to go explore. Carrboro is an interesting place. A lot of the streets are a little rocky and not super well paved. So these 110 millimeter wheels are going to do me really good. I cannot wait to see what these skates feel like, though. It's been a long time since I've put on some really lightweight free skates. My Imperials were the last ones. And I haven't skated the Imperials, since I got the swells for distance, and that was at least a year ago. So let's see how they go. So these are the size 10 44 boots. They feel great. No problems. My foot is a 28.5 centimeter, and these feel right where they should be. I can wiggle my toes fine. No problems whatsoever. I'm getting a slightly harder feeling in my heels. That might be just a change from my aggressive skates to the free skates, but I don't know, it is noticeable. I'll check them out and make sure that there's no bolts sticking up or anything, but that shock absorber should be doing a lot to keep it from hurting. The width-wise feels fine. You know, it's a little tight, but I have a fairly narrow. Sorry, my foot is fairly wide, and these are probably a fairly narrow boot. So I'm going to get used to it. I'm sure that the liner will break in a little bit. But yeah, they feel like skates right now. I haven't skated 110s in a long time. And, you know, that feeling that you get coasting is really great. This frame being a shifted frame as well, so they're not each the same distance, but the last two are closer to each other, means that my turning radius is a lot quicker. When you're doing turns, you know, you're more on your heels when you're doing forward turns, and having those two wheels close to each other will give you a really nice turn, almost like a rocker. And that front wheel being a little rockered higher, that feels really good, especially when doing, you know, deep turns and stuff. All right, we're gonna go explore. Forgot how smooth 110s feel. The cement, most of this asphalt is rough. Very rocky, you know. Definitely hasn't been polished or smoothed or anything. It's flying right over it though. Really, really great feeling. So skating over these bricks feels great. No problems. These skates are pretty solid. You know, I don't feel any wiggle. I don't feel any movement or anything. You know, as you would expect, but you know, it's nothing special about it. But it's nice to know that for $200, you get a fairly solid feeling skate. The wheels feel fine. You know, nothing really special to write home about. They feel a little sticky. I don't know what the hardness is, but you know, they're stock wheels. They're fine. They'll get the job done. But yeah, 110s feels good. The length of the frame I was a little worried about. These are 246, 1-3, which is a much shorter wheelbase than I'm used to. When I skate aggressive, my anti-rocker setup is 250, which is short, but I also have a much lower center of gravity. Typically when I skate flat, I'm skating at like a 270 millimeter, so 1-4 is 270. That's what the large balance frames are. That's what the Aeon 60s are, Aeon 72s. I really like 270 for flat, and this is a little short. But just for skating, I have that maneuverability that I want. I don't know that I'm going to be doing gaps in these. I know that people do, but for me, anything over 100 is more like footwork, you know, more slides, dealing with difficult terrain, riding transitions, things like that. All right, we're over here at UNC. We're going to go explore. campus is so amazing. Seriously, if you're ever out in North Carolina, get some big wheels and just come explore. I mean, Chapel Hill, this is just a beautiful, beautiful campus. And the beautiful thing is, if you're skating big wheels, nobody cares. You know, it's not like you're sessioning the same spot, sessioning a rail, sessioning a ledge, making noise. Just go out there and have fun. So much to explore out here. This little hill is awesome. Great little area to end. You know, a little uphill, and then there's a big driveway, so you don't run into a wall or anything or traffic. Very interesting, right? So the 3x110s are basically exactly the same speed as those 4x100 Wizards. Granted, these are OEM wheels, OEM bearings. I don't know what the quality is, and those are, you know, compass wheels and fitty bearings, so at least I know that they're a good quality. I don't know what quality these are, but yeah, I mean, it's just very similar speed, but I got a shorter wheelbase and I won't fall when I do crossovers. That hill was so much faster than I expected. Oh my god. I got up to speed real quick and I didn't know how to slow down. Yeah, so thankfully I found a parking garage that had a flat, otherwise I'd be shooting into traffic. So far, so good. You know, these F7s, the boot feels great. It really just fits perfectly on my foot. That little heel pressure went away. I think that maybe just skating them a little bit and getting that liner broken in a little bit made a difference. Really like these frames. These 3x110, you know, it's a great size. These frames feel really solid. And I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a different feeling than I got with like a Kaiser Trimax or something like that. Just, they feel like they're really well machined. And I also think that the wheel placement, the two rear wheels being closer together, made a huge difference for me with turning, kind of like it's a built-in rocker without actually being a rocker. Yeah, I think, you know, full disclosure, they gave me these skates, but for 200 bucks, it's not a bad recommendation if somebody wants to get into free skating and doesn't want to spend a ton. Last reminder, backtoblading.com/community this week, soul grinds. Clips are due on Tuesday, so you've got 2 more days. This is Sunday. You got 2 more days to submit them. Backtoblading.com/community. We're at like 150 clips already. I know a lot of you slack. I know I slack. Let's get the clips in if you plan on doing it. I don't want to leave anybody out. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week.